Hello, good morning, social media, Instagram over here, Facebook and YouTube over here. I am excited to come before you today. But first of all, some of you may not even know who I am. This may be your first time coming across this page. And so I just want to let you know my name is Kiana F. Brown. I am your forgiveness expert. And I have gone through a plethora of journeys to get here to where I deem myself to be the forgiveness expert. And that only means that I am a constant forgiver. That means that I have somehow been crafty with getting myself to a space of learning to forgive, wanting to forgive, knowing I need to forgive in order for me to heal. And so I wanted to just stop by and share with you what the Healing Incubator experience is all about. So some of you are tuned in to the Healing Incubator podcast, and I just wanted to do something to expound a little bit more on the podcast, to bring it to more people. And God impregnated me with the Healing Incubator experience. Now, why is this so important to me? This is important to me because just like myself, a lot of us in this world are still dealing with the COVID fog. Some of you might have tuned into a radio show that I'm a reporter for. And one of the reports that I did on that radio show was talking about this, one of the things or the signs that happens after the effect of COVID from someone actually contracting it. And one of the things is that they will develop this thing called brain fog. It's actually a thing, right? They have brain fog, and sometimes they forget things. Sometimes they don't remember which direction they were going. And it's really frustrating to them because they don't know how to deal with it. But what I realized is that not just those people who have contracted COVID, who have healed, have that brain fog, but it's some of us who have endured the season of COVID that have the brain fog as well. And I will contest that I had it. And what does that mean? That merely means that I was in a season where I was going on autopilot, meaning that I was just going through every day, doing what I was supposed to do, not knowing what the outcome was going to be. I was talking to one of my great friends yesterday, and we were in the car getting ready to go skating, trying to have some fun, get back to the exercise activity of life. And we were talking about what I am doing now with the Healing Incubator experience. And he said something that was really profound to me. He said, you know what? It is true. It was like we were going through COVID, and it was like we all got in this vehicle. We strapped our seatbelts on, right? That's our mask, staying protected. And we were just driving and did not know what the destination was going to be. And some of us, if we are not using the proper GPS to get to our destination, meaning that we're alert, meaning that we're not allowing for ourselves to go on autopilot, then we will become lost. We will sometimes go in circles. And some of us are going in circles right now, even though we are coming out, the world is opening up, things are changing, things are being renewed, but some people's minds are not being renewed. In this past season, people have lost a great deal of things. Some people are now homeless because of COVID. Some people have lost dear loved ones. I lost my grandmother during COVID, not to COVID, although she contracted it. Thank God she healed from it, but I still lost her. And so having that loss in the midst of the time when you're in this fog can be something that allows for you to get stuck. You can continue to be in a place, in a season where you're not developing, where you're just going on autopilot. You're operating off the mental mindset that you know that I just have to keep going. I just have to keep going, but you have no idea of where you're going. And it's like we're stuck like sticky glue, like COVID is stuck to some of us like sticky glue, but it's now time for us to remove the adhesive. And so with this, the Healing Incubator experience, which will be next week on July the 7th, which is actually Global Forgiveness Day, right? We're going to celebrate Global Forgiveness Day with going into a space of healing. with the Healing Incubator experience. There is a list of dynamic speakers that will be coming through to help us with some tools of how to start and activate our healing journey as we're leaving from this place. We're not staying here because we know that we're still here. We still have purpose on this earth, and we're still going to get to our destination. But we're not going to let the brain fog, we're not going to let the autopilot, we're not going to let the things of the world continue to drive us when we know that there are great things that are inside of here. We have allowed for our brains to go to sleep. Some of us, our brains are sleeping. There's a study where you can allow for the brain to sleep, but the body is still awoke, and your body is in like as a state of sleep, a deep sleep, where your body is allowed to heal. Right. So we're going through that healing process, but we need to get out of that because we know that we need to walk and continue to live the lives that God has given us. Yesterday, God placed a topic on my mind, and it says, "Don't fear the fire." And when I heard that, I said, "Oh my goodness, this is like the thing that I need to share tomorrow with those who are going to partake, or not even, but just maybe just need to hear this message, to not fear the fire." Do not fear the fire. So when we look at a fire, right, let's look at a fire that we're building from wood. So when we look at that fire, we're compiling everything that we need. And then there's the torch that we need to actually amplify so that we can illuminate, so that we can warm up, so that we can build up, right? And that's what the fire does. And so we need to understand that there's a fire that's inside of us that needs to build up, that needs to go and illuminate so that we can actually put forth what we're supposed to do on this earth. If we are afraid of the fire, we will not be able to go out and touch and help and heal other people with the gifts that we have. You may have the gift of laughter, meaning that you may be able to help someone smile, but if you're still in this brain fog and you're afraid to let your fire start, then you will not be able to live out in your purpose. If you are a person who is meant to go out and inspire the world and you are afraid of the fire, then you will not be able to expound on the words that will help someone within their destiny. We cannot be afraid of the fire. We cannot have fear of the fire. God has made each and every one of us uniquely, and we all have a fire that is burning inside of us, and we need to allow for it to be rekindled again. Some of our flames have been put out. COVID has been like a water that has drenched the life in us and has muted what we have to speak. We need to allow for that fire to take flame, to grow, to expound, so that we can do exactly what we are destined to do in life. Now, I can contest, I allowed for my flame to go out. And in that process, I became fearful of starting my fire again, fearful of jumping out there again, fearful of what if I'm not received the same way. But I had to understand that he who created me has created a great thing inside of me. And every vision that he gives me, if I do not share it, he will give it to someone else and they will be able to expound on it. And I'll look at them and I'll just say, wow, I had a vision to do that, but now this person is implementing it. And so we have to remember that we have to start the fire. Do not fear the fire. Do not fear the fire. Do not stay in a state of fog. Do not stay in a place where you cannot grow. Do not get an autopilot. Do not continue to get in that vehicle and fasten the seatbelt and just go and not know what your destination is. We see that the world is opening up, but we need to open up our minds again, and we need to open up our hearts again, and we need to start this journey. And if we do not do so, we will continuously go in a cycle. What's the thing everybody says? When you continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome, it is merely insanity. And so we need to keep going. I was listening to an audio book the other day, and it shared about how people don't realize that sometimes they're the thing that need to change instead of what they're doing, the people that they're around or their environment. And he said that there was a gentleman that was getting in his car. Every time he drove his car, he kept running into a tree. He ran into this tree, ran into that tree. And he decided, I'm going to get a new vehicle, because I keep running into trees, but he's the one that's driving the vehicle. And so to remind ourselves that we're driving our bodies, we're driving our minds, we're driving our hearts, our spirits, and our souls. And we have to be the one to realize that we need to change. It's not the vehicle, it's that we need to change so that we can do what we have to do. So don't be fearful of the fire that's inside of you. That fire. It is time to relight the torch so that you can keep going. It is no longer time for us to walk in the dark anyway, and all you have to do is restart your torch. All right, guys, I'm not going to stay before you long. I have to be the work, but I just wanted to share this message with you all. Don't be afraid of the fire that's inside of you. If you were going, if you were moving, if you were elevating before COVID, and then all of a sudden you just stopped, all of a sudden you just muted, all of a sudden you became a person on autopilot, don't allow for the world to continue to move on around you. You must begin to start doing what it is that died off when COVID started. So don't be afraid to start your fire again. Do not fear the fire. I'm Kiana F. Brown, your forgiveness expert. I am excited about what's going to happen next week when we venture into the Healing Incubator experience. If you need to tap into something right now, all you have to do is go to the Healing Incubator podcast. We're found on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. There's so many platforms. If you Google and even YouTube, if you Google the Healing Incubator podcast, then there's a list of places that you can just go and watch and glean, listen. Some of them on YouTube you can watch, but the other platforms you can just listen. There's close to 600 hours worth of content there that's going to help you in your healing journey as you want to move out in different areas of your life. There's so many people we've had interviews with, and even things that I've called a dose of oxygen. Well, we just need something to hit our ears, that's going to hit our heart, that's going to allow for us to keep going. It's like we're breathing in fresh words, fresh knowledge, fresh information. And so you can go there if you just need something this week, not next week, tomorrow. And what's my other topic? I have it written right here for tomorrow. Am I living the life that I want? And I thought about that the other day. Am I living the life that I want? So let's talk about that tomorrow. Let's reconvene. We are gearing up to next week for the Healing Incubator experience for Global Forgiveness Day. It's across the world. Global forgiveness. Oh my goodness. We're going to have so much fun, share some information with you all as we look at some components of healing so that we can actually activate, right? We're not about just talking, but we're actually about getting the tools to you so that you can implement them so that you can heal, so that you won't have that COVID fog anymore, and that you will be able to rekindle, relight, and reclaim your fire. Do not fear the fire. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a blessed and amazing day. Happy Monday. Bye, guys.